Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Wednesday, November 12th. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have their first practice of week 11 as the team begins to prepare for the Cincinnati Bengals, a home game and a return to AFC North play after a loss to the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday night. This morning, the Steelers activated quarterback Will Howard from the injured reserve list. Today was the last day that they were able to keep him on IR after opening his 21-day practice window. So Howard will go back to the team's 53-man roster for the foreseeable future. I got lots of questions over the last 3 weeks and of what the Steelers' plans are for Will Howard, what their thoughts are, a whole bunch of hypotheticals. So we'll just put all the Will Howard questions right here in one place. And it starts with really the bulk of the questions are, do the Steelers intend to play Will Howard at quarterback at some point this season? And the answer to that question is no. The Steelers are playing Aaron Rodgers. Should something happen to Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers are going to play Mason Rudolph. The one I would say caveat to that is if they do get into a situation where they have a week 18 game that doesn't mean anything, that might be an opportunity where they will look to get Howard into a game. But outside of that, I do not expect to see Will Howard play this season. I think he'll do the same thing he's been doing the last 3 weeks, which has been, sometimes the scout team quarterback, but not always. It's been Rudolph. Rodgers even took some scout team reps. Rodgers does not give up very many reps in practice. It's not like at the end of Ben Roethlisberger's career where he was taking, a day off every week and sometimes other reps off. Rodgers practices a lot, and so there have not been a lot of opportunities for Howard. I don't expect there to be a lot of opportunities for Howard. At the end of the day, I think this is going to be considered a pretty much a lost season for him due to that pinky injury, and also just the fact that I don't think the Steelers consider him a priority for the team at this point. I think the hope from people that I've talked to on the team is that he will eventually develop into the replacement to Mason Rudolph as a long-term backup quarterback. I don't think there's any chance that anything that Will Howard could ever do would dissuade this team from drafting a quarterback in the first round of the 2026 NFL draft, which is their serious desire. If there isn't a quarterback there, maybe they go with something else. But, I think the path forward for Howard is hopefully to win a backup job, to be a cost-controlled backup for a couple of years, and then maybe more than that. Who knows? But that's pretty far down the line and pretty far down the team's list of priorities in terms of seeing what he can do or finding it. A lot of people, you have to find out what you have in Will Howard. I'm like, that's just not the case. The vast majority of teams who are drafting players in the 6th or 7th round never take any active step to find out what they have. Those players will either show what they do in practice or at training camp or whatever, or they won't. You're not going to get handed or created an opportunity when you're a 6th round draft pick. That's just the facts of the league. And Howard had an opportunity to show something in preseason this year. He wasn't able to be healthy for it. He'll get another one next year. I mean, I think that's as simple as that. So yeah, maybe they'll, like I said, if they get a week 18 game, maybe they'll try to get him in there. I also could honestly see them trying to play Mason Rudolph there, though. It'll have been several months at that point since he had a meaningful rep. And if something were to happen in Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, they would need Rudolph to be sharp. So I'm not even sure it's 100% that they would get Howard into a meaningless week 18 game. Maybe they'd try to get him a half, but, yeah, he'll be the emergency quarterback and practice every day and try to learn and grow. And, I think he has a really good nature about him. I think he fits the role that they hope for him pretty well. We'll see where things go from there. But no, we get a lot of Will Howard questions. Figured to just, with him being activated today, put the answers to those all in one place. If you got more, of course, always leave them here. Going to get into the whiteboard a little bit later this week, I hope, to talk about what on earth the secondary is going to do with the Cincinnati Bengals. And of course, after practice today, more from the Southside Me and Smitty Afternoon Drive here on your YouTube channel and in your audio feeds at 6 p.m. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.